Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV, and this is the aftermath. Well, the aftermath today being filmed in our local. Got to have a stiff drink after that game. Now, listen, it weren't. How can I explain it? Was it bad? Was it a bad point, or was it a good point? That was the question I was sort of asking myself. Before the game, I would have said a bad point because it's Spurs. We want to beat them. We've normally have such a good record against them, so I would have said a bad point. But to how the game went, the way they dominated us in the first half, they went 1-0 up. We didn't look like scoring, I must be honest with you, for, well, any of that first half. To then come and get the draw as we did, it was a good point. But then again, we could have won the game. You know, Giroud wasted a couple of very good headed chances that could have actually won us that game. So in the end, I've got to say it was a good point because we've got to consider this. No matter what you say, you don't want to make excuses. There are a lot of players missing for Arsenal. Main players. That team that was playing out there was almost like we was playing a League Cup team. I mean, think about when we played Tottenham in the League Cup, and think about the team then, and think about the team we played yesterday, and a lot of those same players are playing. Flamini, Arteta, Gibbs, Debuchy, Campbell, all those five players have not been getting near the squad when we've had our full team. Guys like Flamini and Campbell haven't even been on the bench. So it shows how threadbare our squad is at the moment, and to be under the cosh to play 3 games in a row where, you know, we've literally had to play the same team week in, week out against Bayern, against Swansea, and then that game yesterday with the exact same team, not able to rest it or freshen it up. You've got to say that in the end it was a good point. And the fact that, you know, when we needed a goal, on the bench there was no attacking options. We had to bring on a defender and play him as a left-sided midfielder in Kieran Gibbs, and he got the goal. Well, listen, we got out of jail. We got out of jail, but sometimes that's what you've got to do. When you're not... The argument that's been levelled at Arsenal over the years is that we only win when we play well. Well, we didn't play well yesterday, and we still got something out of it. And I'm sure I'm going to go into the tweets and comments now, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to mirror that, the fact that years ago we would have probably have lost that game. Let's get into Lily D, who says, bad result as far as he's concerned. We lost 2 points. We could have been the only team at the top of the Premier League, but because of this bad result, we're still second, but we're joint top. I mean, I think he's being a bit overly harsh there. We are joint top with the same amount of points as Manchester City, who dropped, you could argue, worse points by drawing at Aston Villa, the team at the bottom of the league. Jamie J at J Hatch says, it's a performance of champions, grinding out a result when they're not at their best. What's different for us? It's a good point. Stuart Clarkson said, bad point. We do really lack depth in our squad. Good point. We're starting to get results when we're up against it. So he's saying, you know, on one hand a bad point, on one hand a good point. Donatello Matera says, we're psychologically jaded because of the injuries. Hence, we are playing badly. And he said, and Campbell is useless. I don't agree with that. I thought, listen, Campbell it wasn't a vintage play by him, but I didn't think he was that much worse than anybody else. He didn't play worse than Alexis, did he? So, you know, he had that a sort of first meaningful shot on target that could have led to a goal was by Joel Campbell. Judge Me in May at Kazala Lad says, a good point as the game faded out. 3 games in 6 days with basically the same team was difficult to keep up the same intensity. I agree with that. Sebsy7 says, wasn't fighting, not chasing the second ball, no passion in the first half, yet we still didn't lose. Shows the calibre of the team. Do you know what I thought watching that game yesterday is that it was almost as if there was some players playing there, didn't realise it's a North London derby. You die in those games. You die in those games. And it wasn't really until somebody like Flamini came on, who knows what a North London derby is all about, Gibbs, also who knows what it's about, Arteta, who's the captain, they all know the importance of this game, where we kind of did strengthen up, particularly in that midfield where we were getting overrun in the first half. All right, we know that Santi, we've come on to find out that he was ill and was feeling really dizzy in the first half. That's why they took him off. But until those guys came on, we didn't look like we were going to get anything out of that game. Killer says, Ozil has been brilliant this season. Alexa disappointing so far. Gabriel should be starting week in, week out. Per Mertesacker is finished, he says. S7 Spain says, a bad point, but for the performance, a good point. We only look threatening from set pieces, he said. And he said Giroud's finishing cost us 3 points. And Richard Scotty Scott said, look at the positive. The scum still could not beat us, even when we were at our weakest with so many injuries. It's a good point. And I think, you know, I don't like to use the word scum, sorry about that. Right. But I think I'd have to agree with him there. Listen, we there were for the taking if you look at it. The team, that's not really, if everybody was fit, that wouldn't have been the team. There would have been nowhere near the team. That would have been a League Cup team. Spurs had their full team out, full complement on the bench, and we still managed to hold them. It's a decent point. We're still up there at the top of the league going into this international break. The international break has come for us. Absolute perfect time. Some of these players need a rest. Ozil needs a rest. Alexis hopefully won't be going to Chile. Let's rest up some of these players and let's get back some of the injured players. Ramsey, Walcott, Oxlade-Chamberlain. Let's get these guys back. Get our team back to where we were before and we can really kick on. We've got some winnable games coming up. We get back with West Brom away. We also have games like Norwich away. So there's winnable games coming up. Let's get back into that winning mode. But I have to say, not a bad point in the end. Let us know what you thought of the game. Don't forget to leave your comments below and tell me exactly what you thought of the game. Don't forget to check out our AFTV store. You can get t-shirts like this and a load of new ones coming in at the end of the week. If you want to get a unique present for someone this Christmas, that's a place to go as an Arsenal fan. And don't forget to subscribe to us here at Arsenal Fan TV. If you haven't already subscribed, we're starting to close in on 200,000 subscribers now. We really like you to help us to get over the line. Don't forget to subscribe to Arsenal Fan TV. We've got to get into the player ratings. North London derby. Absolutely. We've got a Spurs fan here. Sorry, I couldn't resist it after your video.